Alright, game changers, welcome back to another video here today. If you guys have been anywhere on the internet, I am sure that you have all heard the roast that Call of Duty got. More specifically, Modern Warfare 3's campaign got for being so dang short. And you know what? There is such a thing as short and sweet and quality things that are not long in duration. But you know what? The Call of Duty campaign was underwhelming. I will say this. There's been better campaigns that I played before, but the main thing here is that Christopher Judge, again the voice of Kratos, made this comment, and it really riled up the Call of Duty community. And I don't mean so much the actual Call of Duty community as far as players go. I mean the Call of Duty community as in the developers and some of the voice actors. It really irked them, and honestly, I don't think it was that big of a deal. But let's hear exactly what Kratos had to say.
Fun fact, my speech was actually longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign. What? Another company I'll never work for.
I mean, honestly, the man wasn't wrong. He himself said it was short, which is not wrong. And it's also not wrong to be able to poke fun at something like that. But again, people are just way too sensitive, cannot even take a joke and can't laugh it off. And that's the thing about Call of Duty that I've noticed. A lot of people in the Call of Duty community, that's including the devs and the creators, just can't take a joke. They're always so serious. And at the same time, they can respond to that. But when it comes to their own community, meaning us, the players or the fans, they have a hard time responding to us. Now, Sledgehammer Games has done a little bit of a better job, but the rest of the developers and the rest of the Call of Duty team are really poor in responding back to us and even giving us feedback and answering our questions that are burning deep within us and ones that we really want answered. But let's go through some of what the developers, past and present, have said on social media in response to Christopher Judge's comment. One on X said, in quotes, "Funny, but yeah, the metrics that COD absolutely destroys all of the God of War games, probably combined to be honest, in is also equally laughable, if not more." Which is kind of stupid because God of War is a single player game and it's not a multiplayer game. So of course, you're not going to be playing it over and over and over, and you're not going to have as many hours into that game as you would a multiplayer game. So when you're comparing apples to oranges, it just doesn't make sense. You're comparing a campaign to multiplayer. When it comes to Call of Duty, people do the exact same thing. Once they consume the campaign, they're not going to keep playing it over and over and over. I don't know of anyone who plays a campaign once and goes back and plays it again.
He's right. Do you know that?
Another person said, "Imagine having short user engagement once your game is consumed. Can't relate," and then put a laughing emoji. This, again, makes no sense because you're talking about a campaign and you're talking about a multiplayer. So again, apples to oranges. This guy is so stupid. This again is comparing campaign to multiplayer, and it's not the exact same thing. The engagement is obviously gonna be different. And this just goes to show you that the Call of Duty team cannot take jokes. They are so butthurt over this comment, and it's honestly hilarious. It honestly is. As a Call of Duty fan myself, as a player who plays pretty regularly, I can see the joke and I agree with it, you know? But a lot of these people just can't. And it's honestly hilarious. Like, stop being so sensitive and take it as a joke. One thing I do want to highlight is the fact that even if the people, the developers, whoever put this together, they have to admit that they were on a time crunch when they had to put this game together. And whose fault is that at the end of the day? Activision. Activision determined how much time they would have to develop this game, and obviously they didn't give them that much time. So if anyone's to be blamed out of any of this, it's Activision. But there is one more Call of Duty developer that I want to highlight here who says, "Honestly, as Call of Duty developers, we've heard way worse, but we don't expect it from a peer at an event that's supposed to be celebrating this year's achievements in gaming, especially with all the information that was leaked about its development." Oh, but when a peer says something about your game, then even more reason to respond But when the Call of Duty community criticizes your game, then no response. See, these are the things that make it so irritating sometimes when you don't get that feedback from the games that you love to play. You guys remember that the game was originally conceived as an expansion to 2022's Modern Warfare 2 before Activision turned it into a standalone, fully priced entry, right? So this rushed development didn't result in positive reception for the game. And guess what? Even IGN gave the campaign a 4 out of 10, saying that it was underbaked, rehashed, and cobbled together from multiplayer parts. Modern Warfare 3 single player campaign is everything a Call of Duty story mode shouldn't be. Now the funniest part about all of this is that Christopher Judge didn't even say that the campaign was bad. That was IGN. All Christopher Judge said was that it was short, basically saying that it should have been longer. That's all he said. And people are coming after him and saying he shouldn't have said that. And it's such a big deal and people are butthurt over this, which really shows you how sensitive some of these Call of Duty people really are. Which again, isn't really surprising, but it's really sad to see. It's even laughable. Again, like I said before, as somebody who enjoys Call of Duty, this is funny. I genuinely laughed when I heard that. I was like, oh man, he's actually right. But instead, there are people coming after him like he spoke so bad about the game or the campaign. He didn't even say that it was a bad campaign or, you know, it could have been worked on a little bit better. The developers did a poor job on it. It had a horrible story. You know, nothing like that. All he mentioned was the length of the game and how it was short. That's it. And people are in an uproar over this. It was made into such a controversy, which is crazy. Again, calling a game short, not even criticizing the game's quality, the contents of that campaign, nothing like that, and they're coming after the man's head. Again, people just need to get a life. But what do you guys think about all of this? Do you think that this was a big deal, or do you take it lighthearted like I did? Because again, it wasn't such a big deal. Sometimes people need to soften up and need to get out of their heads and stop being so serious all the time. It was really a short campaign. It's not like previous campaigns where it was a little longer, you know? So when they say that he shouldn't have made that comment and it was such a big deal, you didn't expect it from a fellow peer, and then coming after him and then trying to compare, you know, God of War to their Call of Duty campaign and to their game, and the engagement is, you know, not as great, and saying this and that when he just literally just said that it was short. He didn't even criticize the campaign and the quality of the campaign. And here the developers are literally crying about how it's such a big deal and then trying to laugh it off and then going online and saying, oh, he shouldn't have said that. Oh, he shouldn't have criticized it. Oh, he shouldn't have said this because I bet our game's a lot better. So that's embarrassing. It just makes you look like a big whiny baby. That's what it looks like. And me as a Call of Duty fan, hearing this from the developers, I have to laugh at the developers of Call of Duty because this shows just how big of babies they really are. And then when we try to say anything, when we criticize them, they don't even respond. And this goes in line with those criticisms that the Call of Duty community has had about Call of Duty, where they just repost only the good things. They don't address the bad things or the legitimate complaints we have about the game. So that's my biggest issue. And then when somebody says something like, oh, the game is short, this is what they respond with. So pathetic, honestly. But again, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload a video. Now with that being said, this is GCP signing off.